Hey, welcome back once again, everybody. This is Urban Shop Talk with your boys Barry and Terry, and we are back for another wonderful weekend. It's nice out in Seattle. The weather's kind of holding up a little bit today, so it's a nice day.
Kinda.
It's a nice day. It's a nice day.
Beautiful day.
It's a well, I just came back from like Tucson and Texas and all that, so it's really hot out there. So, but it is nice out here. It's nice. It was raining the last few days, but it's nice today.
This is beautiful, man. Gorgeous day.
Well, anybody who's ever been to Seattle, Washington area, you guys know when it's nice out here, it's real nice because all that green. You guys talk about our rain all the time, but when it gets really nice out here, it gets really nice because of all the green from all the rain. So anyway, we're back this week. This week we got a interesting conversation to have today. We're going to do a couple of reviews. I'm going to give a review on The Mummy that just released this week. Barry's going to give his review that he didn't get a chance to. He's going to do it this week for the Wonder Woman movie. We'll get to that, and then we're going to do. How
many stars did you give that one again?
I said a very strong 4.5 stars. But we're going to get to yours in a minute, and I'm sure you're going to have something different to say.
Definitely wasn't no 4 star.
Okay, so we'll see, and then we're also going to talk about the Bill Maher controversy. If anybody's been following that knows what's going on with that. Bill Maher got into a little bit of trouble with something that he said on Real Time with Bill Maher a couple of weeks ago. And this past week, he addressed it on his show.
You watched with Ice Cube?
And Ice Cube was on there, and it was a really must-watch show. If you haven't watched it, watch it. And we're going to talk about that today because it was really interesting. So that's what's going on right now. So, Barry, first I'm gonna do a review on The Mummy. Now, The Mummy is a movie that just came out.
Is that the same movie with The Rock?
No, this is not the same movie with The Rock. It's a good question though because there was a Mummy franchise. This is my question.
It just seems like it's too many mummies. It's like 10 mummies.
Well, this is a
reboot?
It's a reboot. It's definitely a reboot. There's a whole.
How are you gonna reboot a movie that wasn't good in the first place? I don't get that.
Well, they did, and the way that they did it this time is that now Universal Pictures is doing something they're calling their Dark Universe, where they're gonna have a connected universe. Think Avengers with monsters. Yeah, it's a weird idea. I don't know why they're doing it, but they're going to do it.
That don't sound enticing at all.
Yeah, well, they're going to have The Mummy is the first one that kicks it off, and then they're talking about having I think Javier Bardem is going to play Frankenstein's monster. I think they got Johnny Depp. He's going to be playing the Invisible Man. Russell Crowe, who was also in The Mummy. We'll get back to him. He's playing Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Good stuff.
They're actually trying to tap The Rock to play Wolfman. For their thing, so they're trying to do this big connected universe. So The Mummy, the first of those movies came out this weekend, and it does star Tom Cruise and Sophia Patella plays the actual mummy in the movie. Annabelle Willis is in it. Russell Crowe, Jake Johnson, and Courtney B. Vance. The movie is, like I said, it's a reboot. So this doesn't have anything to do with the Brendan Fraser movies that came out in the early 2000s, or the one with Jet Li, whatever, Dragon King or whatever that movie was.
Oh, that was bad.
Yeah, it was real bad. This one's a little bit different. This one follows Tom Cruise, and he plays like kind of a roguish explorer, adventurer guy who is out there, and he's looking for artifacts, and he ends up stumbling upon a mummy tomb. And after they discover that, there's some government agents who want it for certain reasons, and other people will come into it. And obviously, like you know, a mummy happens to be resurrected at some point and causes all kind of problems. In a movie that tries to blend a lot of action with a little bit of horror in it, a little bit, and all hell breaks loose once the mummy comes out, and so. The movie is it's good in parts. There's parts of it that work. I think the stuff that really worked is actually the setup to it. I like their backstory. They gave a really good backstory and history to the mummy. And anybody who has any interest in ancient Egyptian stuff or anything like that, they have some really cool stuff that they do with that. And the whole shared universe thing, it kind of rears its head in this movie, and it to a fault, because you see where they're going with the Russell Crowe character who plays Dr. Jekyll, and they kind of introduce things into the movie. I don't want to spoil things, but there's things about his character. The character of Dr. Jekyll, You know about Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, so there's elements of that they kind of introduced in this movie, which some work, some don't. I wasn't too fond of the Mr. Hyde parts, but the Jekyll parts were cool. The Mummy itself, played by Sophia Boutella, who I gotta say, first and foremost, when you're so fun that even when you're dressed up as a decomposed mummy, you still are better looking than everybody on the set.
I don't mean to interrupt
wow.
you, but I think Mark said, "How bad was it? And would you go see it again?" He wants to get to the point.
Well, Mark, I'm getting there, you know, because there's things that I'm trying to talk about. Anyway, Sophia Boutella was beautiful, and she actually was really good as the mummy herself. As a whole, Mark Anderson, the movie wasn't great. And so I wouldn't break an appointment to go watch the movie. It wasn't great. There's things that work. It would have worked better, I thought, if they'd have played up the horror elements and the horror beats a little bit more. And it kind of once the mummy becomes a part of the movie, it becomes more of a action type thing where they're running around and explosions happen and things like that. And it's just that stuff's been done so much that it doesn't really do anything. And there's the action sequences aren't that great.
Okay, well,
so it's not that great. But the movie on its own probably 2.5 stars overall. It's got moments.
I'm surprised you 2.5 for you. That's
What do you feel about? What are your thoughts on the movie too?
I haven't seen it. I'm not going to see it, really, to be honest with you.
You're not going to miss anything if you don't see. You can wait. Redbox.
Well, I never liked any of the Mummy, the after Mummy, the before Mummy. It's just too many mummies.
Compare this one to the first one, Brandon Fraser.
Well, this is completely different than the Brandon Fraser.
It has nothing to do.
It has nothing to do. This is not connected to the.
There's too many using the same.
Well, this one's actually
it's confusing.
This one's a completely different. If anybody has anything about the old Mummy movies, this has nothing to do with it.
I just remember the first trailer for the first Mummy.
Right.
That one just seemed so much more fun. It seemed more cool. Brandon Fraser was a great, fun lead.
Yeah.
He's not a serious actor.
But the whole point with the Mummy, that was
he A-lister.
That one.
Not anymore. Not at all.
Has he ever been A-lister?
Not
the
really.
thing I liked about the first Mummy,
He's a good actor though.
So
I haven't seen him in anything
it seemed like this was trying to be. So
this one was definitely the first Mummy movies were. They definitely knew what they were doing. They were trying to be.
It's like Indiana Jones.
They're trying to be kind of fun adventure movies.
And that's what always kind of funny.
This one is.
It wasn't as great as Indiana Jones at all.
But no, it was never that. But
that's kind of.
But they wanted the humor and the action to be on the same level. That's what made it good.
Right, but this one's not that. So this one, sticking with the 2017 one, this one is actually. They are playing it a little more serious, and they're going for it. But what I wish they did in this movie is I wish they would have played up the horror beats. Because if you're making a shared universe, we already got the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and they're doing all the connected things. We already got the DC Universe, and they're doing their stuff now. So to me, what would make this stand out more is that they really did the horror elements, because those parts in the movie I thought actually were pretty cool, and there was some actual kind of scary stuff to the movie. So if they'd have played that element more, and not so much of the action, running around, explosion, this could be the end of the world stuff that we see in all these other comic book movies, I think they would have something. So it's not a complete miss for that franchise, but definitely not the start they wanted. So 2.5 stars for The Mummy. See it if you can. You might have some fun with it, and you might not. It depends. So last week, though, a movie came out, and it took the whole world by storm. Wonder Woman, it came out. It was a big, huge hit. It's going to take #1 again this week by far. It actually had a less than 50% drop-off, which is incredible in its second week.
Where you got that from?
Box office numbers, brother. You can pull them up anywhere online.
Okay, I'm just asking.
I'm just telling you.
Okay.
So you got to check out the movie this time. I want to hear Barry's review on Wonder Woman. So from the top. Take it from the top, Barry.
I can take it all the way you want me to take it. So this guy last week was like, oh, this movie's a must-see. It had me hyped. So I'm going into it. I'm like, okay. First 15 minutes of it started off pretty good. I'm like, and I will give it props. I like the story a lot.
Be careful with spoilers.
Well, I'm just saying I like the story.
I know.
Story was good. Now, everything else was bad. Fighting scenes were it's too much damn CGI, man. Quit with the CGI. Have actual fighting. The girl looks good. You're right. Yeah, she looks real good. But we never really got a chance to see her actually in there fighting without the CGI, all these stunts and going. flying on through the air. That's just too much for me, man. No.
So you don't like the CGI. What else? So you like the
I didn't like her as really her acting either. I thought her acting was a little subpar for my taste, but you know, the guy, the agent, whoever played the agent,
Chris Pine?
Yeah,
Chris Pine.
yeah, he was good. He was really good, believable. Really had some good moments in there. Toward the end of the movie, when I kind of dozed off a few times, but whatever.
Hurt your overall viewing.
Well, no, it didn't keep my attention. That's what I'm trying to get at. But,
continue,
so
brother.
when you get to the ending of the movie,
Be careful.
hold on.
Tread light.
Ain't nothing to be careful about. We already know what's going to happen. They're all flying through the air, all these explosions. It's way too much stuff going on.
The big finish.
It was way too big.
Finish.
Why do we always have to have these type of big finishes for these type of movies?
That is a good question.
We don't need to have that.
I will
Just
give you
have
that.
it simple.
That is
Simple
a
is
good
fine.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can have some CGI, but don't base the whole fighting scenes on CGI type of stuff,
Right.
man. It's just too big. Now, they had a good action scene where she kind of, where she saved the little village.
Okay, it's something that they show parts of that in the preview.
That was
they show that in the trailers a little bit. So that's
you
a
see
good
what I'm
scene.
talking about?
That's the best sequence.
That is You look at that particular scene where it's not a lot of CGI. It's some, but it went well with the actual fighting scenes.
You feel like the CGI
the ensemble piece was good in that particular scene. That's what I like.
So you think the CGI was that really that much of a detriment to the movie?
For me, it takes away because we don't actually know if she can kind of fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like to see like some hand-to-hand without some CGI, without you doing back flips, 4 or 5 flips, one in the front, one in the back, all over the place. That's just,
So overall, what would your overall takeaway from the Wonder Woman movie be?
That's 2.5.
2.5.
Yeah.
2.5 stars.
I would wait to see it personally, guys. I mean, if you guys like that CGI.
You would wait for any movie.
Out of all the DC movies that they just come out with.
Like what? Give me some. Like
Any
Batman
of
versus Superman. That was garbage. Now we all can agree with that.
cinematic
That Batman versus Superman, Catwoman was a lot better. I'll give it that.
Catwoman?
Oh well, not really, but
Better than Batman versus Superman?
The Halle Berry Catwoman?
Oh no, I'm talking about. No, he said recently.
No, I'm saying out of the new DC movies, which would be Superman.
Yeah,
and the cinematic universe.
What would you?
No,
put that
you
at?
just said one. You
I know.
said two. I said okay.
You said Catwoman was better than it though.
I said. Well, I mean, Superwoman. This one.
Okay,
this
Wonder
one,
Woman.
Yeah, Wonder Woman.
I'm like, what are you talking
I'm like, damn. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
No, I said this one is a lot better than Batman versus Superman.
Right.
I'll give it that.
Yeah. Okay. So 2.5 stars. Okay, you're completely wrong in your review, but that's fine. That's okay because that's what you normally are.
Well, that's why everybody's
movie,
agreeing with me.
The movie that's why you got one guy who says he agrees with you, and 93% of Rotten Tomatoes that says it's not. The other thing is like, look at this. Okay, Wonder Woman. Here's my thing about that. So you say that you had a problem with the CGI in the movie. How else do you do Wonder Woman though? You have to have CGI in the movie because she's Wonder Woman. She does stuff that you can't film without CGI. She's flying. She's doing things with the bracelets.
Now, once did I say you can't have CGI?
Hold on.
You have a base.
Allow me to retort.
Okay, but you're saying something that I did not say.
What did
so you have to have a balance.
Much.
It was way too much CGI.
Okay, but
that's all I had.
Okay,
that's all I said.
So my retort to
say
that,
amen, guys.
And so my retort to that though is if you're doing Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman's gonna do incredible things. She's gonna lift really heavy things. She's gonna jump really far. She's gonna fly. She's gonna use her bracelets. She's gonna use her whip. She's gonna use all kinds of things that you cannot do with practical effects. So CGI, to me, and I didn't think there was an overuse of CGI in this movie. I thought they actually did a lot of good practical effects. Now there was maybe once in the movie where I saw a stunt woman when I shouldn't have, and that was early in the movie. But that was it. Other than that, and I completely disagree with you about Gal Gadot's performance. I thought she was great as Wonder Woman. I thought that there was human moments with her where she was talking with Chris Pine, who was also awesome. I agree with you on that. Chris Pine was great through the whole movie, but it was her chemistry with Chris Pine that carried a lot of the movie. They were the only two people that were really carrying the whole thing through the whole movie. They were together for a lot of the movie, and it was their interaction. He could not do it alone. His interaction with her carried the movie, and I thought that they were great, and I thought that she gave Wonder Woman a personality. You feel like you know Wonder Woman by the time the movie's up. You feel like you know where her motivation is. You feel like you know her as a person. So I thought that she actually brought Wonder Woman to life. From watching the movie, I didn't fall asleep on, so I watched all of it, and I actually enjoyed it. And so I hear what you're saying. And now there's a place
all I'm saying is you can have a balance of it. You still can have, even when you watch some Batman, you can have a balance of the CGI and personal kind of hand-to-hand combat. You can have that. That one scene that we're talking about, that wasn't all CGI.
No. Well,
that scene was not. That scene was not all CGI. That you just up here said that you agree with me on that part, where it was the best sequence.
It was the best sequence in the movie, but there was a lot of CGI in it too.
There wasn't. Compared to the ending of the movie,
well,
it was all CGI.
And now one thing I will agree with you on.
All I'm saying is that have a balance of CGI with hand to hand. That's all I'm asking.
I will agree.
Do you really think that is it believable that she can fight one? Like, I never got that sense that she could. I
see, but that was I agree with the thing that you said about the finale being all these movies always having to have this big finish, which is I do agree with that. I really wish that they would move away from always having to have the big finish. With that said, I didn't mind the big finish in Wonder Woman. I thought it was pretty cool. And I didn't, the whole thing with her being believable, I believed it because she's Wonder Woman. She's supposed to be strong and be able to do all this stuff because she's Wonder Woman. She's exactly like she is in the comics.
Listen, in that beginning scene where she's growing up and they had all these other, were they Wonder Woman too?
Well, see what
were they were Wonder Woman,
Amazons,
right?
The Amazons.
There's some other Amazons in there that were better than her.
No,
that I believe. I'm like, okay, this one, that big old sister, she would have.
Well, because wait, so you're saying because she didn't look imposing enough or something?
Well, I just said that big old sister looked like she could have she could have just.
She's like she can knock some brothers out, but
she's still in the infant stage.
Right, but
even when she got beat, that big old sister.
But
I'm like,
they fully explained. Nicholas Jones on there says 95% of these superhero movies are nothing but CGI. I agree, but this is not that. The Wonder Woman actually had a lot of heart to the movie. The character was really fleshed out. They gave exactly who she was from the time she was a little kid, and she has a character's journey to her whole thing to where she is now. And I'm not going to give away a spoiler, but there's things to where she is in the present day that this movie basically shows you how she got there. I feel like people need to.
Like I said, it was a 2.5 star movie. Okay, I'll give you that, but it wasn't a great movie.
Nicholas,
what did he say?
He said, I'm feeling like people need to get acquainted with Wonder Woman before seeing the movie.
Right.
It's easy to go in expecting the film to be a certain way.
Right. Well, that's true, Nicholas Jones. If you're more familiar with the character, it's gonna help sell a lot of it. But with that said, when they give you her backstory and they tell you who and what she really is, there's not 1 second, for me at least, watching the movie that I question how she's able to do the stuff because they fully explain it. So it worked in the context of the movie. But, you know...
Did they fully explain that?
They fully 100% explained
talk about with the gods and the Zeus and all that?
Right.
That was a little... But that's a little abstract when you're trying to put it into the terms of...
They explain the word.
That's who she is and where she's from.
They do. Yeah, but again, some of that stuff is a little... For the moments of the movie where you're watching it, it's kind of hard to... Because even for me, I'm like, okay, I get, the mythology of it. But in terms of the practical aspects of certain things, because even when you watch Superman, like back in the day, we understood completely how that, came across, and it wasn't.
Isn't that just as?
There's kind of no way to do it without it not being fantasy. With her story, there's kind of no way to just do it without you not being like, okay, she's not just a.
I mean, I'm just saying for me, I'm pretty sure I like.
Nicholas says
what is that?
He doesn't necessarily mean it's going to have something to do or rather mess with the storyline with the CGI. And that's right. The movie, this one didn't, I don't think the thing conflicted with the storyline. I thought it served the movie well because it showed her and she goes through this progression of learning how to use these powers, and I thought that they did it well. But anyway, so I stick by my review. I still think 4.5 stars. I thought I got everything I wanted out of the movie. Not so much for you. You said what, 2.5?
I said a good 2.5.
2.5 stars. I think it's much better than that. But you're gonna have to go on your own. It's doing well right now, though.
And comparing to Batman and Superman, did you like that one too? By the way,
which one?
Batman versus Superman? Or?
No, Batman. I had a lot of problems with Batman versus Superman. I'm a big comic book guy.
I thought that Batman, like I said, I thought the story was terrible.
You're right.
We all can agree on that movie.
Yeah,
right.
And to me, that was another one of those. They made Batman be way too bulky, and it's just.
They were trying to go for the look for the Dark Knight Returns. The comic for Batman's look. Batman versus Superman, though, I'm a big fan of these characters. And one thing that I liked about Wonder Woman, I go back to this again, they were true to the character. Wonder Woman actually is like how Wonder Woman is in the comic books. You watch the movie, she actually plays the way that she is in the comics.
Okay.
Batman versus Superman, they completely screw up Superman 100%. It's not like Superman at all. And then they got Batman doing crap like branding people and killing people without regard, which
he
is
completely
he murders an entire
entire
street full of people with this Batmobile.
Entire
throws a grenade in the room and blows people up. And you're like, wait a minute, this isn't the Punisher.
One of the things I did like about Superwoman is how they
Wonder Woman.
I don't know what I'm tripping on.
Catwoman,
they all the damn same.
Wonder Woman. No, they're not.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Whatever. They all look alike for me.
Very sexist, Barry.
Now we know why he's
very sexist.
I don't know what Catwoman's on my mind.
This girl,
I've been thinking about it. Catwoman.
This girl can't fight.
She shouldn't be wearing a suit.
Yeah.
She should be in the kitchen.
They gonna Wonder Woman though. I did like how they explained that picture.
Right. Well,
I'm just saying.
Right. Okay. But
I like that. That was great.
Right. There's some very good.
I'm just going back to the origin part.
Patty Jenkins did a great job directing that movie, and I hope she does more in the DC universe.
With all that money she's making right now.
Well, they didn't sign her. They didn't sign her to a sequel yet. She's gonna have a lot of negotiating power when they get her back in there. No, sounds like it though, huh? Patty Jenkins. Switch Jenkins.
She's not black.
No, she ain't black.
Patty Jenkins.
She's not black. Patty Jenkins. Good
I
old
like
Jenkins.
that. I like
One of the Jenkins boys. All right, now.
She need to go do Catwoman. How about that? No, I'm just
well, hey, I'd love to see her take on Catwoman. Anyway, so
one last question.
What is up?
How do you feel about Justice League?
The Justice League, and now see, there's an interesting thing, Nicholas Jones, about the Justice League that's going on right now. I'm gonna call you Nick.
Yeah, because that Nicholas.
I like to give his whole thing though to let him know we're talking about him. But Mr. Jones, the Justice League. One thing that's really interesting about what's going on about that, if anybody's been following the movie, Zack Snyder, who I have not been a fan of in the DC universe because I didn't like what he did with Man of Steel. I hated what he did with Batman vs Superman, and he directed the Justice League, which had me apprehensive about it because I haven't liked his style in this universe. But earlier this year, he had a tragedy with his family. I think his daughter committed suicide, so it became a real burden for him. And no matter how you feel about his movies, it sucks for somebody to go through that. So he had to pull out a movie, unfortunately. But with him pulling out, Joss Whedon has actually taken the reins of direction. Now, they already had reshoots scheduled on the movie for Justice League that they were going to do anyway. They were already planning to do these reshoots. And now Joss Whedon has stepped in, and now it seems like what was going to be only a few weeks of reshoots has turned into maybe 6, maybe 8 weeks of reshoots. So
it sounds like he's almost doing the whole
Joss Whedon is doing a lot. So this got me a lot more excited about it because Joss Whedon, if you don't know, is the director of the original Avengers movie and Avengers 2. And Joss Whedon knows how to deal with an ensemble. He knows how to deal with women characters. He's a great director for these type of movies.
And he has great balance with the ensemble because sometimes with ensemble you be selling too much of
and it can get
future movies and it gets too
like Batman versus Superman. Yeah, somebody tries to put too much
in there.
Right. Well, so this guy, he does a really good job balancing it out, and he's doing a lot more, it seems like, than just a few reshoots here and there. So November, they're still talking about the release date. It's still going to be in November.
And they had the trailer of Black Panther coming out. That looks dope.
We'll talk about that later. I want to talk about that a little bit.
All right,
that deserves its own segment. So let's move on, though. Wonder Woman, 4.5 stars from me. Barry gave it 2.5.
CGI in the Black Panther trailer, though. I hope it's not.
Let's get back to that. Let's get back to that.
My bad.
So
I get a little carried away.
Switching gears. Switching gears a whole lot right now. So last week, if anybody was watching Bill Maher.
Yeah, I did.
I watched Bill Maher. I watch Bill Maher every week. He's not for everybody because he's very strongly opinionated Democrat political comedian who has a show on HBO.
Is he Democrat?
Yeah, he's definitely Democrat.
Well, I thought
well, he gave $1 million for Obama.
Okay, well,
he's
yeah,
Democrat.
but that was one
no,
time.
he's all the way left.
Okay.
100%.
Well, yeah.
All the way. Anyway, so he has a show called Real Time with Bill Maher. Now, it's a boundary pushing show where he definitely comes close to the line, if not completely steps over it every now and then with his jokes. But he's always funny to me. He's always on point. He's always an equal offender when he's getting on people's butts. He'll get on his base a lot. He stays on the right a lot. But he's funny with most of it, and most of it is within the confines about political things, but he stays within the boundaries for the most part. He did step over the line 2 weeks ago. He said a joke He was talking to a Nebraska
Hey, Joseph,
senator.
yeah, but he has some libertarian type of viewpoints too. But anyways, we'll go on there.
I mean, we're not gonna get into the politics really thing about it. We're just really talking about what happened on his show.
Okay.
So on his show, he had a senator from Nebraska on there, and the senator had made a weird comment that was basically like, Bill said something about Nebraska, and he's like, oh yeah, come on down, we'd love to have you out in the fields. I guess because they got like a lot of corn or whatever in Nebraska. And Bill, jokingly but very wrongly, he retorted and was like, he said in the fields, my God, Senator, please, I'm a house N-word. But he didn't say N-word, he said the actual N-I-G-G-E-R. I don't want to say it. People watch the show. I don't want to offend anybody by actually saying it again. But you know what it is. He said the N word, and he said it with the hard ER, and it kind of got a sigh out of his crowd, and they kind of really got, people were like really like uneasy about it. And he kind of made a quick joke about it, like, oh, it's just a joke, and kind of try to brush it off. But it didn't go over well, and he got a lot of backlash for it. People were calling for a show to get pulled. Mm-hmm. It was a really big deal, and it was all over the internet. People were talking about it. So this past week, though, which what I thought was a must-watch episode of Real Time, he had Michael Eric Dyson on there, the professor, and he let Michael Eric Dyson just pretty much school him on the word and why it's not okay to use it. Bill Maher was very apologetic, to his credit, and he knows this is a guy who doesn't apologize for much. Bill Maher doesn't apologize for much, but he knows he stepped in it with this one. And then he had Ice Cube on there, which was even better because Ice Cube came on there and was just basically giving it to him. He was like, what made you think you could say this word? This is our word. We're never giving it back. And he really got on Bill Maher. And if anybody look it up online, man, it's a really interesting conversation. Bill Maher was apologetic about it, but I mean, it was tough. What do you think about the whole situation?
Well, he apologized somewhat later on. He didn't apologize right after.
No, not right after he did it. He didn't. It was after the backlash. The heat was on.
It's interesting because I do watch Bill Maher, and some of his stuff is funny. Some of his stuff I'm like, it's not really that funny to me. This particular one, I thought that comedians sometimes go over the line. And if you ever went to a comedy show or whatnot, sometimes they say stuff on the fly. This was obviously one of those on the fly type of situation and moments. Was it a bad moment? I absolutely, because I didn't even think the joke was funny.
Real quick, but I'm gonna get back to you. Joseph Higgins brought up a point, and I gotta watch it again. He said it wasn't a hard ER. I think he said it
because Eric Dyson is good friends with Bill Maher, right. So
he said it the brother way, the NIGGA.
Ice Cube had some really good points in terms of how he addressed it, and Bill Maher didn't really take him that well because he kept on interrupting him.
Well, it was at that point you could tell Bill knew he was in the hot seat, but if you're
going to go after Trump and you're going to go after other people,
right?
They say
when
you got to also
step in it, you got
because he goes hard after Trump,
right?
And right or wrong,
right?
You got to be able to take stuff when you say something that's out of pocket. Well, and he doesn't always do that.
His
and that's
position,
the issue I kind of have with
his position,
you got to take all the hot. That's the way it goes. You give it,
right?
You got to take it.
His position was kind of like. It was a bad move as a comedian. I know better than saying that. That's not how I think. It was a comedic timing that came up like almost like if it was a black comedian, that would have been like, you could see them saying that. It still wouldn't have been that funny of a joke, but it would have been, I can see him saying that. But he's not black. And so he knows that, and he knows he couldn't use the word, and he knows he stepped in it. And his position kept being like, I'm apologizing. I don't know what else I can do, but apologize is all I'm,
but sometimes
what else can you do?
It's not always just about the apology. Sometimes you got to, if you say something, because listen, he says stuff beforehand, and you go after all these other people, and you go after him hard.
Right.
He takes it out. Then you got to take it, man. Right. You got to be able to take that. And another thing, I want to make sure you understand fully what you did, and that's what Ice Cube was saying. He wasn't repeating himself.
Right.
He actually had two different points
that
he was trying to convey to Bill Maher, and Bill Maher got like
and you could tell. I think he was so uncomfortable by it. Like you could tell he was in the hot seat when he was sitting there. So I think his reaction was more one of like just really not knowing where to go because these guys they're giving it to him and he's wrong. He's in the wrong, and he's it's rarely a guy like Bill Maher is in a position to have to admit that he's wrong. So I felt like that was what was going on. He felt like it seemed like he was really unsure about which way to go. With being with being in that position. So that was it was hard to watch. So now, what I want to kind of get on though. So with that, it brings up whenever you get these situations that happen, and somebody gets in trouble for saying the word, then the old debate comes up. Well, how come they still say it? How come they still use it in these, ways and things like that? What do you think about it, B? Like, how do you feel about the use of the word? Who it's okay for? When is it okay? Why would it be okay? What do you feel about it? Because I got things I think about it. But
Well,
what do you
probably
think
it's
about
not okay for anybody to use, to be honest with you. Probably not. I mean, that's probably.
Like that's the only thing. Like I feel like
it's
as
hard
black
for.
people say it, but it's like through music and all that stuff. We're okay with.
Yeah, and music wise, to me, because music is about expression, and to me, I like a lot of music that uses it. It's for us, it's in terms of endearment, I think, a lot of times, and we're not saying with malice behind it. So for us, it's a little bit different.
So do you think it's the way somebody says it and who they say it to and how they say it? Is that kind of thing?
Probably that's true, but I mean, to be honest with you, so we can kind of get across and stop using. Probably should stop using the word period. To be honest,
You think so? You
I
think it should be just wiped out? Like they wanted to take it out, like make it a word you can't use anymore.
Absolutely, I think so. I think so, but it's never going to happen like that. That's just what the Nicholas said.
He said, we're talking about a man who loves to talk about how much he loves black women, which we have no problem with. A dude who was with Superhead at one point. My issue is how Maher thinks just because he's with them, and how is he warranted to say it is basically what his point was. Because, why does he think it's okay to say it? I think like this. Here's my thing, and this is gonna kind of go on what you're talking about, Nicholas Jones. My feeling about the word is that it's like Ice Cube said to him. He said it point blank. He said it's our word. We took it now, and you guys can't have it back. And no matter how you feel about saying it, there's people that I'm not going to say it to. We just a minute ago, we had a great friend of ours, Pastor Jackson, was in here. Never will I ever say to Pastor Jackson, "What's up, my?" Never. That's not going to come out of my mouth. But if I'm talking to somebody else who's like me, and we're out and we're doing that, I've said it, and I don't really feel bad about it because it is something that I feel like belongs to us in the sense that I'm black every day. I can't change it. I won't want to change it. I am who I am every day. I go through it, the good and bad with it. I got people that follow me around stores sometimes. I've had my face thrown on the head of on the hood of a police car for just walking out of my house and handcuffed for nothing. I've had these situations. I carry it every single day, the things that go on and the things that happen with us in this country. So for me, being black and everything that goes with it, that's me every day. So if I say it, that's me. I'm always black. I can't turn it on and off. See, some people that aren't, they like to have fun with it. And it's fun, and it's a fun word to say in rap songs, and it's a fun word to say as a joke, and this and that. But then they get to go back to being what they are, or get to go back to being something else. And then when they're in the job interviews, there's something else. When they're when they're in front of the police, there's something else. I'm always black, so that's always with me. So I feel like that is a word that belongs to me and my culture, and I don't have a problem when it's used by us. It's a simple thing too to look at. To me, it's an easy way to break down. Like if you see a bunch of girls out and they're all out having a good time, right? And one of them calls the other one a bitch, and they say, "Oh, bitch, you're crazy," and whatever. That's one thing. If a guy jumps in there and says, "Hey, bitch," it turns into a whole different word, a whole different thing. So it's okay for women to talk that way. If two gay people have a joke with each other, a gay joke, it's two gay people, and that's them. If somebody else comes in and has it, it's a problem. I think if you're not a part of the group, you can't use it.
You're asking people to decipher things because
I'm asking you to use common sense.
But not everybody uses common sense.
Well, that's their problem.
Even among us, as like you said, you wouldn't talk to Pastor Jackson like that.
Not once.
But Pastor Jackson's been in the barbershop, and other cats that came in
and
they said that. That's what I'm saying. So that's not.
That,
but that's what I'm saying. It's a word that.
It's a cuss word to me, though. That's all it is. It's a cuss word like any other word, and you know the time and place to say curse words.
But people don't have that.
But
we live in a society.
Those are individuals, though. I think.
But we don't have common sense in a lot of areas. I mean,
all the major, like black leaders, and, like we joke around, say black delegation. I almost feel like there should be some gigantic court ruling for the word. See if we should just get banned it completely. I
feel like common sense needs to roll out.
But common sense. You're asking people to have common sense. Well, I live in a society we don't. Bill Maher who is liberal and all this kind of stuff, just use the word. I mean, so it's common sense.
But he's
common
white.
Sense
That's the problem. That's why it was a problem.
But common sense. But you still have some people defending that too. Yeah, a lot
But
of
that's-
black
but that's
people
where people
So
are
that's what I'm
stupid
saying.
for me.
You, common sense doesn't always come across.
But I think that's where the
all I'm
problem is.
saying.
When you know when D.L. Hewley or Kevin Hart or somebody else, one of those comedians says it, nobody cares. Why? Because they're black. It's common sense. If you are
white people and non-black people of color shouldn't say it, period.
I think that's the rule. I think that should really be the rule. If you're not a part of the group, you cannot say it. And it's just simple. If it's a woman joke, I can't be as comfortable to say a woman joke because I'm not a woman. If it's a Latino, Asian, any kind of word that would be something that people would associate with them, that people would be offended by. If you know that
playing the devil's advocate, why can't you just not use the word? I mean, honestly,
why should I have to? Well, I shouldn't say curse words, but I say them all the time. So it's common sense. No, I'm answering his question. He said to me, why should we say it at all? Now, I shouldn't say a cuss word. I shouldn't say the F word. I shouldn't say the B word. But sometimes I say it.
And I get that. I'm saying, like, this word isn't just a cuss word, though. When you think about the history.
You think about the history, and that's what I'm saying. It's a history, it's the magnitude of how that word was used. And I say it too, but I'm just saying the magnitude behind it. Let's look at it from the whole, not just a singular. And sometimes we don't do that. We're talking about we own the word. Well, damn, how do we own a word that was used to describe us?
Well, we don't. We don't
own that word.
Well, wait a minute. Time out. I gotta call you on that too, though, because when I say we own the word, we own the word, and we did change it. We say Nigga. We don't walk around calling people Nigger. We don't do that. So that is the difference. The one that has the weight is the ER. That's the one that has the people. Okay. Wait a minute. What I'm saying is, no. Let me finish my point. Let me get my point out. When you say the ER, that goes into the historical stuff, and we don't use that with each other. You don't see brothers going around saying ER to each other. They don't do that. So when brothers say that, we did take the word and we did put an A on it and made it ours. Now, when white people say it or somebody else say it, they just can't, because any way that they say it,
you're saying the word is different. But if you add an A, then anybody can use the word.
No, it's not anybody, and it's common sense, and you know they can.
I'm just saying.
So we gotta kill the term of endearment to accommodate both.
Exactly. We shouldn't have to. Joseph Higgins, I agree with you, because we shouldn't have to. We shouldn't have to temper the way that we deal with each other to make other people comfortable for not being able to be a part of ours. They got to be comfortable every day of the year, being in their own skin, and we can't help that. And if you have a problem that you can't do something that we are, guess what? Welcome to our world, because we can't do a bunch of stuff that you guys do. And that's just how it goes. And that's just the reality of the situation. And it's one word. And don't be silly about it and be like, well, why can't I say it? You know why. If you got any common sense and you had any history class in your life, you know
what's
the reason
funny,
why
though,
people can't
you go to a concert, right? I was at a concert, and it was a gang of white people, right? Song came in and used the word. Everybody in the audience used it.
Right.
I didn't see the rapper say, hey, don't you... We use the word,
but they're not using it to somebody. They're singing along with somebody else's song.
But that's what I'm saying. You can't. We up here trying to decipher. Well, you can say it on a strap song. You can't say it on there. Whatever.
It's really not that hard.
But you're allowing. Why not?
No, man. See, but to me, playing devil's advocate is excusing stupidity. No, that's a word that we probably excusing stupidity. Because if you're going to say the difference, I can't control what anybody says.
I don't want my son using the word. Do you want your kid using it?
I don't want my kid saying any curse word.
Okay, but then that's what I'm saying. If you say you don't want him to use that word or any other word, we probably shouldn't be using the word. No, that's all I'm saying.
No. I just explained to you exactly.
No, you explained a portion of it.
No, I told you exactly what it was. I told you it's all. To me, it's just like a curse word, but it's one that only we can say because of everything else. And you know what I mean.
But you said it's like a curse word. So if it's like a curse word, do you want your kids to use that word?
I just said I don't want my kids to say
you don't want your kids to say any curse word.
When they're adults, they can say whatever they want.
Decipher and be like, hey, I don't want you saying that at all.
I just told you.
It's not just the curse word, though. So if we want to get into that word, I know it's in A.
I feel like we're going to go in circles here because I just got to saying the difference. There's an ER that makes it a different word.
There's a difference for
There's an A on it that black people say to each other and have been saying to each other, and they're not going to bat an eye when another one says it to them unless they say it in a mean way. It's common sense. People have common sense. And if you don't, then you're not going to get through life.
Honestly,
period.
I know, and you've been probably the places where where you have some white folks that think they're cool, and
But
you're cool with
that's
them,
common
and they
sense that
say,
they don't
and I've
use.
seen brothers don't even battle with it. They're like, whatever, it's cool, whatever.
But it's common
so you
sense that they don't
can't
use,
say
right?
common sense. That's all I'm trying to explain to you. It's not common sense.
But no,
because
no.
you're trying to decipher
No, let
who
me-
can use
let-
it, who can't, and that's not how it works.
Let me tell you why it's common sense. Because the smart
The voice.
Let me
You
tell
understand what I'm saying?
No, let me
I
tell you
get what
something.
you're
The smart. This is why it's common sense. Because the smart white people that I know will never say it. That's why. The dummies who want to try to make it.
That's not
No,
true.
that
You
is
can go to-
true.
you can go to
That is
any-
true.
any-
That is true.
That's why I just said you can go to
That is
any
true.
concert and they're saying it.
And
I'm
guess
telling
who?
you.
The crowd's predominantly
Right,
white.
and they're using the word.
You guys, this example.
My guy just showed me the
This
concert.
is a weak example. I'm sorry, this is a weak example.
You go to it.
I'm telling you why. Because
Terry,
you're talking
come
about
on, Terry.
no.
You go to any Lil Wayne concert and that word comes up. Half the damn crowd is saying and singing along with him.
Yeah,
Now you're
exactly.
saying that's okay because he's a rapper. He's saying it. That makes no sense
You're
to
really-
me, man.
you're-
There's a part where it's a big.
Both of you are
verse,
going-
and the crowd is there, you know.
This is why this is a tough discussion because both of you are going out of your way to not hear what I'm saying. You're
We
talking
hear what
about
you're saying.
stop talking and let me say it then because you're talking about a concert and somebody singing a song. That's not somebody saying it to another black person.
You
who's
missed
making
my
a
point.
bass. No,
That's
you're
my
not
point.
making a point because I
I
just told you.
already made a point.
Come on, man. If you're talking about somebody singing along to a song, and they're singing it like that, whatever.
Terry, what did I
If
just
they're
say
saying
before?
it to
I said you're
somebody else.
deciphering. You want to decipher who can and what. How,
I don't
who,
wanna do
all
anything.
that
I'm
kind
just
of
telling
stuff.
you how
You're
I
still
think.
saying the word. You just said that ER is different than A, but
Right.
okay, they're saying it in the concert.
Right.
You're not saying ER.
I wouldn't
they're
say
saying an A on it.
again,
So
you're-
what's the damn difference?
You're
It's
telling
no
me
different.
what I'm telling
Come
you
on,
like
man.
this. I'm telling you like this. If they're saying it, I wouldn't say it in the concert. If I was a white person in the concert, I still wouldn't
they're
say
saying it, though.
I can't control that. What I'm saying is, you're asking me what do I think, what they should do, what somebody should say, and what I'm saying is you should use common sense. If you're a white person, you're around a bunch of black people, I wouldn't say it. That's just me. I wouldn't do it. But if that's what you do, to me, that's not common sense.
Joseph Higgins said, he's saying directly to you, said, Barry, are you offended by adult blacks who use the words with you as a friendly term?
Not necessarily.
That's
just
the
me.
difference. That's the
Not
difference.
necessarily.
But if a white person
But
said
what
it to
I'm
you,
trying to say is, I probably still shouldn't say the word. I understand and recognize that I should not say the word. I shouldn't be saying that word. Sometimes I say it wrong.
Yeah,
I shouldn't say it. I don't want him. I don't want my son saying it. So why should I be saying it? That's like with any word, though, right?
Yeah.
We have to also look at ourselves and be accountable certain times for certain things.
See, I see. That's again. This is another one of those. I hate that when people say that we got to be accountable. No, white people got to be accountable.
I didn't
for
say about
themselves,
white
too.
people. I'm saying about being a
talking
parent, being anything like that.
But,
That's a totally different realm.
Did I say I want my kids saying it? No, I said I don't want my kids saying any curse word. But when they grow up, they can say whatever they want. Okay. The thing
That's
is,
right.
But the thing is,
That's all I'm saying.
it doesn't have to be right. When I say a curse word, it's not really right. It's just what I say. But guess what? The Nigga word is something that me as a black man who carries being black all the time, I'm gonna feel okay about saying because I carry it 100% of the time. I can't put it on and off. I can't put on a chain and a hat and then say, hey, my new, and then go out and put on my suit and tie and be a white guy. I can't do that. So for me, it's all encompassing. Everything about being black.
So the only thing is we're fighting over the use of a word that honestly is more to it than just
There's
the word.
no- we're
So
not
I mean,
gonna
we
get-
can
we're not
other,
gonna
we
get
can
to the
say
end of
another.
it.
No, we can say other words of endearment to each other though. We can.
Well,
we
then
just choose
if-
not to.
if-
That's all I'm saying. So that's fine.
Well, I don't. Again, this is one of those things. Like when I say it, that's not the only thing I say, and I don't say it all the time. But if I do say it, it is one thing. I can't. I shouldn't just say. I'm not going to get to a point where it's like, well, I can't say it either because they can't say it, so it's not fair to them. That's
I'm
what
not saying.
saying.
I never said that.
All right. Well, I mean, again, this is one of those weighty conversations.
No, I never said
that's
that.
going to go on forever.
We
but-
said it in the context of what we're talking about. We're talking about Bill Maher. We're talking about how he had the liberal.
We
use
both
of
agree
saying-
that he shouldn't have said
No,
it.
and that's what I was trying to get at when I was talking about that. You're talking about when and how and who we
Well,
can use
that's
the
what
word.
that's the point of what we're talking about.
Well, no, the point was Bill Maher first. That's what we talk about. We're talking about white people. in terms of using
Okay.
it.
The point is, we went. Of course, we went a lot of places. At the end of the day, there's not going to be a right or wrong answer when it comes to this. But I think we both can agree that there is a group of people that especially shouldn't say it. Can we agree on that one?
Yeah.
So that's as far as we're going to get with that. And you guys, if anybody else has a comment or anything like that, remember we got a YouTube channel up. You guys share and like our videos
Oh, we got
and
to hear
comment
what the
over
voice
it.
what the voice said. What the voice thinks about it.
About the N-word?
Yeah.
It's one of those. Yeah, like I said, I feel like it gets to a point where you just need all the major black leaders. You have your imagination. You want Obama or Jay-Z and Oprah all at this table and just talk about what we should do with this word.
Yeah,
Feel
I mean, it's an interesting
I get
discussion.
it that with all a sign of respect for all black people, term of endearment, but you really feel like, if we're going to be that mad about somebody else saying it, and he did say NA.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. He's white.
Like
He
I'm
let him-
saying,
let him talk, man.
it wasn't okay for him to say it. It was wrong. Period. But I feel like at a point we need to really do something, really talk about what we should do with the word.
Amen.
It is our word, but we need to find out something.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be. We're definitely not gonna solve it here. So.
Well, yeah, but
that's gonna be. That's
we're not trying to solve it. We're
that's
not
gonna be-
discussing.
And that's. I'm trying to wrap it up. So
Oh,
let me
okay.
put a bow on it.
We got some LeBron. Yeah.
So
yeah.
anyway, so comment. Let us know what you guys think, because I'm interested to hear what everybody has to say. We obviously can't read everybody's comments right now. We don't have that much time, but please
Yeah.
put some comments. And I want a discussion going. So everybody keep it going.
We might
keep
you
it
know
going.
what? We might even continue.
We'll touch on it another time.
Talk about
you close,
the
Black
LeBron.
Panther.
We'll talk about that next.
Black Panther.
Yeah,
Check out the Black Panther trailer.
the trailer.
If anybody hasn't seen the Black Panther trailer, oh my God, look it up and watch it, because that one right there is about to be something else. It's about to be the biggest budget black movie ever put on celluloid. So that's true.
Hey, somebody keeps on commenting. Who's it? All these comments. Oh
It's true.
yeah, we'll talk about.
It's
You
true.
know what?
So
well, we can talk about the LeBron James thing too. That'd be a good one.
yeah.
Yeah.
You want to have a last answer to one question?
Okay.
What-
go ahead.
let's get the question real quick.
Okay.
Real quick here.
He said, Nicholas Jones, he said, let's flip it. How do you guys feel about Whitelock's comments?
Whitlock?
Yeah, Whitlock. Jason Whitlock.
Sorry. Not having the right field the way he did in his home being vandalized.
Jason Whitlock.
You're talking about LeBron
Oh my
James.
God! Now see,
Yeah,
Nicholas
I
Jones, I
totally-
wish you'd have said something earlier
Yeah.
about this, because
I said that
I
we
can't
talk about it next
stand
week. We'll
Whitlock.
talk about that next week.
I can't
Yeah.
stand Whitlock. Let's just put it like
Yeah,
that.
we
I can't
gotta
stand
go.
that guy. And if you think it's about rich or poor, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah,
all I got to
that-
say about that.
He's yeah.
So, but we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about it at the barbershop.
next week. And next week, we're going to have a review for Tupac's All Eyes on Me movie biopic. That'll be out. So
I'm
look
looking
out for
forward to
that one. So that'll be that. Barry, where's the shop at?
Man, 529-611. No, you guys already know.
You guys already know, but
Terry's mad at
come
me
on
right
down,
now.
check it
Terry's
out.
so cool.
Man, we always cool, man. You might. He didn't say it. I didn't say it, though. I didn't say it. Anyways, you guys, thank you guys for watching. Check us out. Leave us, like us, share
Can
us.
we come up with another
Put
word?
something in the
Can
comments.
we come up with another
Come up
word?
whatever you want, bro.
Come up with another
That's all
word.
right with
Let's
me.
vote on a new word.
All right, we're going to be back next week. Until then, bye-bye.